What's up, guys? Welcome indeed back to the channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome indeed to our beginner's guide to Path of Exile Crucible. This is going to be a beginner's guide from the start all the way to the finish of the game. Whether you've been playing Path of Exile for years and you just want to maybe try out a new league starter, this could be also used for you. But of course, Path of Exile is a complex game. There's always more things to learn even if you've played the game for a while, but we're going to do everything step by step. So first off, obviously you log in, you're going to have to create a brand new character because if it's your first time, you might not have any characters. So we're going to go ahead and click on the create, and we're going to select Crucible. Make sure this is selected. Don't select any of these boxes. They make the game more difficult and you can't enable trade. Let's get started. So yeah, Crucible, we're going to do this one. So make sure this one is selected. It's very important because there's a brand new season and essentially this is a new league here. So let's get started. And which class will we play? Now, theoretically, every single class in the game can pretty much use every single skill in the game. It's not like other action RPGs, but you could pretty much do whatever you want to do in terms of damage as long as it's elemental for this playthrough. But for the most part, try to stick to the guide, as the whole walkthrough will help out a lot more. So we're going to name our character Crucible and get started. So I'm going to select the Ranger. Okay, that's pretty important here for the playthrough. If you want to change it later after you get to the end game and make a new character, feel free to do so. But let's get started with the full walkthrough and guide. We're also live streaming on Twitch, so I'm not talking to myself if I read the chat here. But starting right off, you click on the weapon, it's going to automatically equip it. You're going to have Burning Arrow. Click on this. So starting right off, it's going to tell you put it inside. I'll teach you guys everything, but I'll keep this little tutorial here just because it kind of gives me a good reference on sometimes when certain things happen in the very beginning, but we'll turn it off later. So starting right off, the very important thing that I want to go over first is to mention that if you go to options, there's a few settings that I really recommend beginners to actually play on for the UI. So first off, important things. Go into the options menu, so you hit escape, and then you go to the UI tab over here. This is very important. So what you want to do is select two things. Landscape transparency, you want to make this go all the way to the left. This gives more clarity on where you need to go versus having more clutter. And also the map zoom, put that all the way to the left. Those are the two things that I really recommend all you guys to do in the very beginning of the game. Now, a lot of Path of Exile tutorials or beginner's guide may be 10-15 minutes long. This is going to be the full guide, so it's going to be cut into each act, each part. So it's going to be a lengthy playthrough, but I promise you, this is one of the best games of all time if you put in the time and learn how to play. But let's go ahead and get started. And I will kind of explain things as we go along. So your health is in the bottom left and your mana is in the bottom right. When you have no mana, well, you can't use your skills that cost mana. So you can see right now the default left click is attack, but we can change that if I want to. So I like to have Q for movement, and then I like to use W for my skill. Now you can change all of your own settings if you want to, and if you want to hit 1 through 5, that's how you use your flasks. So these are your potions. So the red one gives you HP, and it wants us to put in this. Okay, here we go. And we'll go ahead and do that. And so what we've now done is we've linked the skill Burning Arrow to Momentum Support. This is a brand new skill actually for this season here. So what does this do? So we gain a momentum when we use supported skill, gain 1 momentum every 0.7 seconds while channeling a supported skill. Lose all momentum if you move. Okay, that's very interesting. So we're gaining these stacks of momentum. Interesting. I think this is replaced the onslaught support, right? Okay, swiftness grants 15% increased movement speed per momentum loss. Oh, okay. We'll end up swapping off this. So how this game works in terms of its skills is your inventory has sockets. Those gems that you put in are what's going to actually give you the skill. And when they are linked to this little gold thing in between, what that allows you to do is have a linked skill. Usually that means it costs more mana, but it will have some sort of bonus effect. This whole newer gem called Momentum Support, I would say, depending on what skill you're using, it could be more advantageous than others. But since I like to move and shoot, we're going to swap off of it. It's a brand new skill, I would say. In terms of early game, at the very beginning, you have no option. You might as well use it. We're going to pick up all the items. Some of the stuff will be automatically equipped, but you'll see unidentified items cannot be equipped. We'll actually have to identify the item. to actually go in. Oh, it actually makes us use our skill point in order to progress. So in the very beginning, we're going to get this one over here. It's going to give us extra projectile damage and accuracy. If you're wondering about the skill tree, I will have lots of links in the pinned comment to explain the entire skill tree, just in case I go fast at any point in the game. Also, another great thing to mention, if you're watching this, I really recommend you to put this on a second monitor or watch it on your phone and then continue playing, as it's going to be kind of necessary versus like alt-tabbing out. So going right into town, we'll talk to all the NPCs that have the exclamation mark. Usually this kind of starts off a quest. Now, Targly will give us a rewards. We can get Split Arrow, Ice Shot, Frost Blades, Galvanook Arrow, or Caustic Arrow. I'm going to actually go with Ice Shot, as we are going to be building our character. And if you're wondering what we're going to do, we can theoretically go any types of elemental damage or physical damage, and we will actually be able to convert it if we want to into elemental damage from physical. There's an item that you could get also on the skill tree, which is this. If you ever want to access the skill tree and you didn't level up and you didn't just click right here, hit, I believe default is P, as in penguin, and you can open this up and it will tell you, you know, where your skill points are. So in order to get your skill points on the tree, I know it seems super overwhelming to see all this, but trust me, it's really exciting once you get to understand it. But starting right off, we're getting this projectile damage and accuracy, and we're going to go up here, and don't worry, I will link down below if you guys want like the PoE planner in terms of what we're going to be doing here. So you see that certain items in this game, there's no gold. How we get currency in this game is by selling our items. So right now at the moment, there's really nothing that we can equip. If I really want to identify these items, I can right click on the Scroll of Wisdom and then left click and it will identify the item. It's actually not too bad. It gives me some lightning damage. So I'm going to equip that. Now, don't worry about identifying every single item, especially in the very beginning, because you won't have Scrolls of Wisdom and you actually want to use your Scroll of Wisdoms. So pretty much most of the stuff that you don't use in the very beginning, you could pretty much pick up most stuff in the game. We are going to hold control and left click. That will put it in the trade window over here, and it's going to give us some scroll fragments and transmute shards. We're going to go ahead and hit accept. Now, some items in the game, you get what's called a fragment. So it's like a piece of an item. Once you reach 5 out of 5, we'll get another Scroll of Wisdom. That's how we identify items. So that's how we do that.
Farewell.
Now let's go ahead and continue, and we are going to go towards the coast. Now you can also check the vendors for certain items, whether you want an item that, like this one over here, it's a 3-linked item. Is that really good? I mean, earlier on, it can be nice to have. It only costs 1 Scroll of Wisdom, but the item itself is just a white item. Let's see if we can see anything that could be advantageous. I would really like to get boots with movement speed, if possible. You can type in the keyword NN for movement speed. It's only going to be on the boots here, but you can see the items, and if there is an item that you may want, whether it gives you more damage or whatever the case is, you can go ahead and purchase it. I would say in the very beginning, don't worry too much about it. Let's go ahead and now continue to the coast. And I also happen to have what's called a loot filter on, so that will make items be highlighted. If you want to learn more about loot filters, they're all completely free. It's just like an extension that you're allowed to have in the game, and it just makes it a little bit easier. Let's go ahead and continue, and we can now use our Ice Shot. So let's go and put on the Ice Shot. If I want to add another support gem, we can add one relatively soon. So in the very beginning, we're going to try to equip our character with all of the items. So that means like boots, rings, whatever one that we pick up, it's always going to be a benefit. But if the item requires, like this one over here, this Iron Hat, it requires a Scroll of Identity. I don't really care to pick it up. Now our skill gem is also leveled up. So not only does our character level up, but the skill gems level up. If I left click right here, it's going to level up the skill gem. Pretty much you want to level up all of your skill gems in the game with certain exceptions, and I'll mention the certain exceptions later, because they're going to cost more mana and also momentum to level up. We'll swap off momentum really soon. It's just we're going to go get the Quicksilver Flask first, which is done through getting this medicine chest, but we'll get a waypoint here. So right now when we're at the coast, and by the way, the maps in this game always vary. There are going to be differences between my playthrough and your playthrough potentially. So keep that in mind as well. But anyways, talking to the Twitch chat, hello Largest, hello Black Sparrow, hello Wildcard, hello Eisen, and hello Stacked. Well, we're live early because the new league came out early. So this is the brand new mechanic. So this is new. I have no idea essentially what we can do with this mechanic, but I can figure it out pretty good because I've been playing Path of Exile for a long time. Oh, this is going to be a bow? Right off the bat. Okay, so let's go ahead and click this. So we're going to do this Crucible. This is the brand new league that just came out today. This mechanic is kind of unknown here. So defeating the molten monsters will award experience towards unlocking Crucible passive tree on this item. So this is the new League mechanic. So how do I interact and start? Do I click on it? It says click. Oh, click and hold. Oh, okay. Here we go. So it's gonna spawn some monsters and we're gonna fight them. Oh, we have to hold it longer until it gets to the first node. Is that how it works? Okay. So these can be very difficult earlier on. Oh my gosh, this is insanely difficult. Sometimes League mechanics earlier on are very, very difficult to do, and they're not really worth doing. This is incredibly difficult. Realistically, very few people will be able to do this. I don't know why. Servers must be like super stressed, because look at this frame rate, 7 milliseconds, but like the FPS, it says it's 150, but this does not look like 150 FPS to me. So I would say earlier on, in terms of the League mechanic, I'm running on a 3080, by the way, so like there's a high chance that in the very beginning of any PoE League, the servers will be super stressed, but this is like really strange in terms of like the frame rate. We can get a waypoint really soon, but don't worry if you die. I literally just died right there, but the League mechanic may be way too difficult earlier on in terms of its scaling. Day one, sometimes, this is absurd. Absolutely crazy for difficulty, and this is good though. Like sometimes people will see a mechanic that is way overtuned, and I promise you guys there's going to be some sort of patch. This is very unrealistic for any player. I've been playing PoE for thousands and thousands of hours. I've done Maven, I've done the endgame content, and this is scaled impossibly hard for early game. Actually crazy, but it's okay. Like I said, it's better that I die earlier on and you can see that the game is way too difficult. But yeah, this is crazy. Like, who's supposed to actually be able to complete this? But we're gonna do it. We're gonna complete it, and the reward, will it be worth it? Let's find out. Because some rewards and some League mechanics aren't really meant to do earlier in the game. You're supposed to do them later. But you can see these monsters that are spawning in are just astronomically high. This is like, this is harder than like some of like the bosses towards the end of the game, especially for like such a low level character. But let's do it. We're at least applying that chill. With Ice Shot, you do chill the enemy, so it's gonna make them move slower, so it's gonna give us a little bit of an advantage in the game. And if we're out of mana, because more likely we'll get lower on mana while fighting this thing. And your flasks, aka your potions in this game, they don't recharge over time unless you have something that like allows it to recharge over time. So we just leveled up. That's pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and put in another skill point over here. I'm gonna get extra attack speed and projectile damage, and we're going to move up. Now I'm not sure why the frame rate for this League mechanic, it could be just strange optimization, but alright, so we got that monster down, and I think for this League mechanic, the key is to just fight one monster at a time. This might take a little bit, but the reward, especially earlier on, if you see a bow, I would say it is worth it to do it earlier on. Like, it might take us a few minutes here. And the reason why is because this new mechanic should not be in the game level 1. And I guarantee you there's going to be a bunch of posts that say, this is way too difficult for level, like, you know, under level 5, and it will probably be adjusted. So if you're watching this maybe a day or two after, they probably patched it, but day one, sometimes things in PoE, honestly, it feels way too overtuned. And sometimes the rewards can be not the greatest. And day one, they do a lot of patches, I would say. And yeah, this is crazy difficult. Alright, so like I said, we're going to try to take one monster at a time over here in terms of fighting, and we'll get our reward. Look at this. Look at our damage, though. It's just, it's crazy. Alright, we gotta be careful with this thing. This thing will be chasing us. So how Ice Shot works, let me explain this since we're just killing this thing. And I recommend the first encounter, like I said, it might be difficult, but try to do it. If you die a couple times, there's really no penalty for death other than you have to walk back from the checkpoint. Okay, so we got, I think we got the item. Okay, let's check this out. Because we have some sort of new Crucible skill here. And we're all out of mana, all out of potions, and that happens sometimes. And that could be kind of rough, but hopefully we can get this guy down, and if we die, it's not that big of a deal. The waypoint isn't too far away. But we already got the reward, so I'm guessing we can just peace out. We have 10 HP, hopefully we don't die, but like I said, it's rough. Alright, so we have a new skill on our Crucible passive tree. So we can get 5 to 10 cold damage. Okay. Right click to view Crucible. Okay, so is this on our item right now? Okay, so that's pretty massive if it adds 5 to 10 cold damage. Just right off the bat. And can we see the the next level skill? 20% reduce attack speed, 15% chance to deal double damage. Wow. Okay, this is super worth it earlier on. Getting 100% increased critical strike chance with bows. That doesn't actually mean 100% crit. That's off the base crit value, which is 5, which would be another 5% crit. That's actually really good for the very beginning stages. But just getting that first skill tree is going to be massive. Now, I'm also wondering, is it just work off the weapon that you have equipped? Because if so, that is really friendly. But these monsters are way overtuned. Like, 16 minutes in and only here? That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay. So it seems like the frame rate drops specifically once we go... Like, I can tell the frame rate is now like 240. And it feels way smoother. Although, if you're watching this on YouTube or Twitch, it's like 60 FPS is, I believe, what they cap out at anyways. But these monsters are just insane. Okay. So let's go ahead and continue. Let's see, these are 7, these are 8 for armor. We'll keep the one that has higher armor. We're just gonna move on. You can see that this is a boss where it has, like, their name is different. You can see the name is in like gold. So it's gonna be kind of like a little mini boss over here. So we drop some items, go and pick up those items. Now, I'm going to identify this because it's a yellow item. Hopefully we can get some good stats on it. We don't have the intelligence to use it, but we can maybe get it later. We got a bow that has 5 to 13, and this one actually has 5 to 10 cold damage, which is actually pretty massive, but this is a 3-link. Now, a 3-link could be more valuable for us depending on what gems that we can put in. But yeah, in terms of like the league mechanic, I would say with the Crucible, do it once if you can get like the elemental damage. But this next step over here, getting King of the Hill, it would be nice, but it's not going to be super like strong because we don't have any crit multiplier to really scale. And because the thing is absolutely way overtuned in earlier stages, I would say don't do it. Now, we just got this waypoint. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back into town. Going back into town will refill our potions here, and we can start selling these items that we don't need.
What little help
And some items will sell for different things based upon the item, if it's identified or unidentified. So now let's go ahead and see if we can purchase any other items. We have a Scroll of Wisdom. I do like to get extra mana regen, so getting these amulets can be okay earlier on. If you just want some extra mana regen, just so you don't have to stop consistently just waiting for your mana to refill. So if I go over to Nessa here and I go to purchase items, I can type in sup and it'll go over all of the support gems. Now, right now there's really not anything available for us except for this one, so it's not going to be super great earlier on. So let's go ahead and continue. As they do sometimes change with different leagues, they'll change what order you can get certain gems in. So from this waypoint, and to explain what a waypoint is, if you play Diablo, it's the same thing. It's just a checkpoint that you can use to teleport back and forth. Your character always saves, so it's not like a save checkpoint. But, yeah, let's go ahead and now continue. So in this game, in terms of the currency in this game is items that modify your existing items. And sometimes the league mechanic, in this case it was that Crucible one, like I said, don't do them earlier on. Other than maybe if you want to do the first one, feel free to go ahead and do it, as getting extra 5 to 10 cold damage, it's not bad. But you can see like how fast we're killing these things. Now, once we're in the Tidal Island, we want to kill this boss. And this boss we want to move and shoot once. And the reason why is if he applies a chill to us, we can actually move super slow and he'll do massive amounts of damage. It's weird that they really want us to hold still for a lot of the earlier games. Okay, there we go. Now we got our portal scroll. And go pick up everything. And if you see an item that is red, blue, and green linked like this one over here, we can sell it for what's called a chromatic orb. Chromatic orbs can change the colors of our gem. We haven't gotten a different colored gem yet. Now, what we can do here, once we get this item, which is the medicine chest, it's the green item, that's the medicine chest. Those are quest items. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to our character selection screen and reload in our character, or we could technically walk back. It's just faster a lot of times to not use a portal, because in the very beginning, portals are a little bit more rare, but later in the end game, you're going to be popping portals like crazy fast. Now, we can get the Quicksilver Flask. We can't use it yet, but that's going to allow us to move a little bit faster. Now we have another support gem. So I can get Pierce support, so it's going to pierce targets. We have chance to poison. We have Mirage Archer support, and we have Volley support. I'm going to go ahead and select Mirage Archer, as this lowers our damage, but it's going to shoot 3 arrows. It's kind of nice to have, but Mirage Archer overall is going to be better because it's good for single target as well. In this game, some skills can what's called shotgun, which means multiple arrows can hit the exact same target. But it kind of depends on the skill. So if I sell this item, you'll see we get what's called a chromatic orb. This will change the colors of the item. Certain items have a higher chance to roll certain colors also, like a item that has evasion or is like dexterity based, usually it will have green. And we're gonna go ahead and talk to the NPCs over here.
Stay sharp.
And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk back to the waypoint and go to the waypoint called the coast. So in town there is a little waypoint system, and now we're gonna go to the mud flats and continue on. So you'll see there's a quest to clear the Feeded Pool. Don't worry about that. And I actually will swap gems once we reach level 4, which will be very, very soon. There we go, and we are level 4. So that's gonna be nice once we kill these enemies. This game, by the way, does not pause, so opening up your skill tree in the middle of combat could be a little bit dangerous. So this whole momentum skill grants us swiftness. I can't wait to swap off it. Okay, let's swap off it right now. We have Mirage Arch. This is going to be way better. So I can move and I can shoot. And what this Mirage Arch will do is once we shoot with our skill, we have a little like ghost above us, and that's going to also shoot our skill. It only lasts a set duration. We can increase it if we want to. But what we're doing in the mud flats right now, and our skill just leveled up, so we're going to put another skill point into it, is we're looking for these 3 seashells. You'll see in the top right, there is a yellow exclamation mark that is going to indicate where we actually need to go. But if you die at any point in the game, don't worry. I usually, no joke, have 0 deaths until we complete like the campaign. We're at the end game. But in this instance, that thing was way overtuned. Way overtuned. I just want to mention that because some people might be watching this as a beginner's guide for the first time. You haven't maybe watched my channel before, and you're like, bro, what the heck? You just died at like, you know, level 1. This guy's a bot. But I promise you, this game is difficult, and I promise that will be changed. They're going to release like a patched, you know, we're literally at day 1, and that thing is just ridiculous. I mean, you can see we're not really having too much troubles. Now, if we do get boots, try to identify boots earlier on, the reason why. And these gloves are actually pretty nice because it has the 1 to 5 damage. But I want to see if we can get, we have 1 to 2 cold damage, which is nice. And we have life per enemy killed. Oh, this is going to be nice to have in the very beginning. But if you get flat any amount of damage, that's quite nice to have in the very earlier stages. The next point, we're going to get extra projectile damage. But don't worry too much about picking up every single item in the very beginning. I just pick up items if I have room. Another scroll of wisdom, nice, nice. And now we've gotten 3 of the seashells, and we will go and continue. Now this is another one of those crucibles. It's not worth it. Yes, if I click over here, I can see what do I want to get. I can get more XP. This is pretty nice to have. However, the difficulty is way too strong. It will probably be changed. So what we're looking for is not the Feeded Pool. We want to go to the other area, which is going to be the caves. So once we collect all 3 of these seashells, which I believe we have all of them, We're going to go, it's usually down to the right. Keep in mind the maps might have some variation and difference. Also, I'm sure you guys noticed the optimization in terms of frame rate. If you want to see these numbers, like your frame rates and FPS, hit F1. So you can see my lag, I can see everything over here. I'm just going to keep this on just so I can kind of monitor it. But I think the league mechanic right now, poorly optimized. I dropped to like 100 and something FPS. Which, once we're at the waypoint though, feel free to go back into town and we're going to sell a bunch of stuff that we don't need here.
Hello.
But I'm going to keep this bow just in case, and we can actually equip our flask now. Let's get rid of this. I mean, this is not that bad to have. So let's go ahead and keep that. I'll identify it. We get extra 6 life. And ideally what you want to look for is cold resistance earlier on. And I'll explain what all these little things do. If you want to read them, feel free to go ahead and read them. But I'll explain it at a time where it makes more sense. So we just got that Quicksilver Flask from the Medicine chest quest. And what we can do is we can now activate it. And it's that green one. And the green one, what it does, it's called a Quicksilver Flask. It gives us additional movement speed. And again, these refill off of kills. Oh, any red, green, blue, pick them all up. In fact, we might be able to use this very, very soon. If I happen to get some extra skills. Let's go. And we're going to put another skill point over here. More projectile damage. What's nice with Ice Shot is after it hits an enemy, you'll see that there's like a little cone of ice that hits everything that's behind the target. And it's very, very nice to have. And let's go speed through this act over here. And if you see any of the yellow monsters, try to kill these, as these could have better drops. But try to move and shoot at the same time. Like move, shoot once. I have what's called an item filter on, so some items may not even appear as they drop. And later down the line, we could talk a little bit more about what's called loot filter, so you don't see basically the items that you don't want. But again, I'll have a lot of stuff in the pinned comment. So in case you want to, see the tutorial on how to get a loot filter, it's completely for free and it's completely optional. But I know for a lot of people, when you start off with Path of Exile, a lot of content creators will be like, hey, download this extension, download this extension. And it's like, whoa, I don't even know if I'm going to enjoy this game. I don't want to download all these, extra tools to make the game less and or more enjoyable for their experience in the game. Is that a 3-link over there? It is. I'm going to pick up this. Because it has 2 greens. Yeah, 2 greens and a red, which will be great. So what we're going to do over here, there are 2 exits in the submerged passage over here, this little cave looking area. Oh, nice. A 3 green. That's going to be most ideal for us. So you'll see, sometimes you'll see the ledge, but there's also another area that we can go to. But we're going to go to the ledge. However, I want to open up a portal first, and I want to go to the ledge. This is a speed running strategy. However, it's a good strategy to learn. So we put a portal before we exit here. Now, it's important we don't leave Path of Exile. We don't leave the game here. We're going to be coming back to that portal, but we're going to do so via the waypoint. It just makes it faster. If you do get to the caves first, there's a boss. We're going to kill the Dweller in the Deep boss, and he gives us a skill point. But the reason why we do it in this order first is because it saves time. Whatever area that you see first, just do it. So if you saw the ledge first, go through the ledge. So we got this quiver over here, and we're going to get some extra physical damage to attacks, which is great. But in terms of the league mechanic, we will revisit it like at least once every play session, maybe once every act, because right now going to the next tier isn't really going to do insane amounts of damage. It's 5% additional crit. Well, these guys are really strong. These are cold, chill, and freeze resistant. If you find a monster that is in, like more resistance to your damage type, you can skip out on it earlier on. I mean, it's not like this thing is impossible to kill. It's just not going to be time efficient. And our support gem just leveled up, so we're going to level that one up. We're going to be looking for the next waypoint, and what we're going to do with the waypoint is go back. And sometimes if you do get surrounded, it's okay, it happens, although dying here is not going to be ideal at all. I think that was a... oh, it has 2 blue. If it had 2 green, I would actually want it, but it doesn't. The colors do matter indeed. If you want to... I think for the default key, it's Z as in zebra, to be able to see the items on the ground. I don't remember if by default it's enabled or disabled. You can also hold Alt to see them, but if there's any barrels or chests, just open them up. It just makes things much easier. Surprisingly, they actually added a really interesting skill on the passive tree to make it so your spells actually open up chests that are nearby. And that's actually kind of a nice quality of life feature. I wish everything got it. Ooh, another mana flask. Let's grab this and let's equip it. We have, okay, so here is the waypoint. We want to rush the waypoint real quick, and then we're going to go back into town, which is Lionized Watch. The towns will always have this little icon of a green house. So now what we're going to do is we can go talk to Tarkley over here, and we get another reward. So we can get Sniper's Mark, Bear Trap. This is by completing the eggs. I want to do the Shrapnel Ballista, but I also want Sniper's Mark. And we're also going to grab Dash over here as a reward. And we're going to put Shrapnel Ballista in somewhere. I want to actually use this helmet. So let's go ahead and use this helmet, and we're going to go put in the Ballista. And if we can throw in, I don't know if Momentum Support works with it. If I mouse over it, you can see Shrapnel Ballista. It's got that check mark, so let's go ahead and see if this is going to be good for us. And let's go ahead and upgrade the Momentum skill gem. And I have another open socket. So I'm going to go sell my stuff over here.
Hello.
All the junk that we don't need. Yeah, we'll keep this helmet. And as you can see, I got a chromatic ore because we had that red, blue, and green linked. And now we have another Scroll of Wisdom. I don't have an amulet yet. If I can get these, ideally I look for these rings that have cold resistance, but also happen to have any flat physical damage. So if I saw an iron ring, ideally if we got an iron ring, that would be quite nice to have as well. Because this just gives us free extra damage. Now there isn't really anything that I want right here other than the iron rings, but check at Nessa after you complete certain quests, like after breaking the eggs, there is a few extra skills that you can actually get in the game. I have like a little text document that has some notes over here. So we did get Sniper's Mark. Where did I put that one? Okay, where is it? We got Sniper's Mark, right? Oh no, Momentum. Oh, we got Shrapnel Ballista. So we can, I believe we can get Snipers. This is going to be really key here. We're going to grab a Sniper's Mark gem. Now you can see I don't have any room for it. Oh, never mind. There's one at the top. Sometimes you might not have enough room and you'll have to get a different item. Or you can go to the vendor and check out. Maybe they've got something. But I'm going to check if there is any boots with movement speed, as that's just massive to have in the very beginning. It just makes the game feel way better. And we're going to rush this mode, literally get 5% movement speed. So next up, we have 2 skill points. I'm going to put it all into here. So just basically straight into ballistics, which gives us extra dexterity as well. And then we are going to rush Aspect of the Links, and then we're going to get even more movement speed. So I try to prioritize getting as much movement speed as possible. Now, we're not going to go right back to the ledge with our waypoint over here. We're actually going to take this submerged passage portal that we opened up earlier. This is going to significantly help out. So now I actually have Sniper's Mark. I'm going to put this on right click, and then we also have Shrapnel Ballista, which I'm now going to throw down. So what we're looking for is the Dweller in the Deep. My guess is going to be over here. And if I want to open and close the mini map, by the way, from going from the top right to the middle of the screen, we just hit tab. That should be the default key, but feel free to change up your keybinds. But hello, Lupthor. How you doing? I'm doing good, man. Just really excited to play the new PoE League. So this is Sniper's Marks. It makes the target take increased damage. I'm only going to be activating that on bosses, basically. Everything else we kind of skip out on. Now you can see I'm just throwing that Shrapnel Ballista and kind of just moving. As that's going to clean up most of the content unless it's elite, and then I'm going to throw in the added extra damage. Oh, we got another Serrated Arrow Quiver. And we're coming up to our first Essence. So if you see these monsters that are kind of, it looks like they're encased in ice. This is another mechanic in the game. We're not going to do the Crucible one because it needs to be patched day one. Absolutely needs to be patched.
My mana is gone.
I'm just going to put this on E and put this on W. Look how it feels a little more. And feel free to change your keybinds. Now, I'm curious to see how this mechanic works. Now, if I change this and I equip this item over here. Oh, you can select the equipped item. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. Now, if I select this, can I see what the next one is? Defeating the molten monsters will... Oh, so it doesn't actually show you what the Crucible... Okay, so you can put any item, with the exception of uniques, that's going to be like later on. Now, can we we can't do quivers. I believe it's only weapons in the game, and you can do shields. But this allows me to add that extra modifier that we have, like that 5 to 10 elemental cold damage. That got added when we actually did the mechanic. Now, like I said, the thing is way overtuned. It'll probably be patched day 1, so I'm going to wait, and we'll do it in Act 2 again. But this, right now, it's not super necessary to do. I don't really need the extra link, but later, maybe that could be a thing that we do. Oh, but this essence, let me go and explain what an essence does, because it's actually quite a nice thing to have in the very beginning. So if I have any white items, I'm just going to go do the quiver right now. Or I could just do this, because it gives me the ability to make it yellow. So what this does is it converts it. So in a bow, this adds 2 to 3 to 6 to 7 cold damage. If I throw this on right here, it's going to guarantee those stats and make it a yellow item. And whatever, it's just kind of random. It just makes it a random yellow item, but it will have the guaranteed stats that it says it gives. Depending on the piece of equipment that we put it on, can matter. It's just showing you guys how it works. It's okay to use it on that because it had the extra damage. So what we're looking for is the Flooded Depths. We're going to be killing the Dweller in the Deep. This is a quest boss, and it's not too difficult. Like I mentioned before, that the Crucible thing has still got me scared. It spooked me out. So we're going to skip on this. Okay, we're coming up to our first shrine. Keep in mind, you might not see these exact things at the same time, but I'm seeing them because this game is random in terms of how it works. So this is a shrine, and it's going to give us some sort of bonus. They're always good for the most part. There are certain other exceptions, but for the most part, click on all the shrines that you see. They're going to benefit you. Now we have this little like Nova that spawns around us, which can shock the enemies, and we're going to deal more damage to the shocked enemies. Because there's the Dweller in the Deep. This is where the boss fight is going to be happening. And it's a pretty easy boss fight. Like, you can see how fast, literally just that one monster, the random, like, monster that spawned out of the Crucible Mechanic was way stronger than that boss. I'm going to go ahead and exit the character selection screen. And the reason why I do this is because I don't have to waste a town portal scroll. Will weapon and shield be broken? Okay, so I think earlier stages, just getting any like flat like elemental damage is going to be like advantageous, right? I'm gonna go ahead and sell these because I already have a 3, and this one is a yellow, so it's going to be better than the white item for the most part. There are certain exceptions. There's special items that may say if you have a white item equipped or a whatever item, we can actually keep this quiver. And the reason why I'm going to keep it, I'm going to throw it in my stash. My stash, by the way, will have a bunch more tabs. This game is not pay to win at all. However, you can get more stash tabs, more inventory space, so to speak, that you can hold in town if you do pay money. But there are also free ways to get different cosmetic microtransactions. But yeah, this game has no pay to win. There is pay to look cooler, though, for sure. But now what we're going to do, we're going to get this increased bow damage and continue. And we're going to go back to the ledge after we complete Dweller in the Deep. Oh, you know what? We got to do. I completed that quest, but I didn't get my reward. So let me go back to town before. So we're going to actually talk to Tarkley. He's going to give us a book that gives us a skill point. That's after we kill that crab boss. So now we get an extra skill point, and now we're going to get Aspect of the Eagle, and we're going to get these 3 over here, and then we're going to go get some more HP and more movement speed. I like to rush movement speed because in the campaign, the thing that speeds up this game is the movement speed, because the campaign, honestly, you're like 2/3 of the time that you're playing this game is just walking from point A to point B in the campaign. But later, there's going to be a lot more action. It's just this is the early game. Oh, I also should mention we have dash as an ability. I'm going to actually put dash on this over here. Maybe we can put Sniper's Mark on this, and then you can do it like this. So I'm just moving my skills around. Feel free to move your skills around to whatever is more comfortable for your hands. Sometimes I just change them literally because my hands get tired of pushing the same button for so long. So yeah, dash just lets us move a little bit faster. It has a very short cooldown. I like it. I think it's one of the best mobility skills in the game because I like the way that it feels. There's other skills if you want to consider, like flame dash. If you want to maybe apply some sort of like fire damage because you want them to be ignited to do other things. There's multiple different ways to play this game. So if there's any bosses, we're going to activate that Sniper's Mark on them. You can see the Sniper's Mark is indicated by that little green thing, and what Sniper's Mark does, we melted that thing so fast. What Sniper's Mark does is it makes it so if I shoot the enemy, there's going to be projectiles that come out of the side of the enemy. We're gonna get some extra mana regen pretty soon here, because I hate popping mana flask, and I always try to make my builds very beginner friendly, and we will respec, we can take out skill points later, but in terms of getting extra mana regen in the very earlier stages of the game, I think it's super worth it, as it makes the whole gameplay experience play a lot more smooth. If you see any upgraded flasks, feel free to pick them up. You can also go to town and change 3 of the same flasks for 1 upgraded flask in the next tier of that sort of flask type. Oh, we have 3 transmutes. I'm gonna modify this one because we can use this literally from now until the end of the game. So I threw what's called a transmute. If you have one, feel free to do it, but it's going to give us increased charge recovery, and it gives us increased elemental resistances. It's random on what it gives. Oh, we have another skill point. Let's go ahead and throw this one in and get extra attack speed and accuracy with our bows. And basically, originally I was going to rush adrenaline, but that got literally nerfed before they mentioned the patch notes for the game, and then they nerfed it before we even got to play it. Well, hello Sparrow, how you doing? Stream it this time. I mean, when Path of Exile comes out, I do nothing but stream this game for like 2 weeks. I love this game so much, and it's so much fun to play. I love making these guides too. I'm more upset, honestly, that we died at the very beginning of the game, but it's because that league mechanic is way unfair. We just got a whetstone that can increase the damage of our weapon, but it increases it by 1%, and you know, getting 6 to 15, getting 20% increased damage on that is not worth it. It gives us 1 per whetstone unless the item is like common, then it'll go up like 5. But don't worry too much about whetstones. They're literally like pennies. But pick them up. You know, earlier on, it's still worth picking them up. Do I have another scroll of wisdom? Okay, identify this, see if this is good. Ooh, okay. 7 to 18. This one has the extra damage. Unfortunately, we can't see what the Crucible adds until we put a point into it. So, and you can always hit C as in cat, and then open up your character menu, and you can see the DPS. Now in this instance, my eye shot is connected to our weapon, so I will explain how to check your DPS in a second here. Oh, this guy kind of tough. Alright, let's throw down some of these. Let's throw down that sniper's mark on him, and he'll take massive amounts of extra bonus damage. And let's pick up this. We got another medium life flask, so we can drop our small life flask. There's a little upgrade there. So if I hit C as in cat, I can open up this, and I can click on ice shot, because that's our DPS right now is 198. This thing is relatively accurate. So 198 was the numbers that it was dealing. And whoops, if I put this in, now I'm dealing 128. So this one is better than this one. Not all the time though, keep in mind this one is 3-socketed and has more potential. If I was to throw in like another added, let's say added lightning damage later on the weapon. But we'll get added cold damage. In fact, this is going to be my triple link over here in my helmet. I'm going to get added cold damage very soon, once we finish the caged crew, which is another quest. But don't feel like you have to kill every single enemy on screen. Ooh, this guy hits really hard. Maybe the burn damage. There we go, he's gone. And let's keep on moving. But yeah, having these shrapnel ballistas is really going to be advantageous. So throw them down as you're moving, and sometimes if you get lucky, they can kill most of the stuff. So you don't even have to kill stuff. And now we're on the lower prison. Okay.
There's no justice in
So
a
we
place
just did
like
that
this.
skill point quest.
Only misery.
And what we need to find here is a trial of Ascendency. So make sure you click on all the waypoints. You'll hear a little sound when you get the waypoint. Will the guide cover vendor recipes? I mean, the important ones, sure. I mean, you could use a blue gem and a white ring, and you can get like extra cold res on it. But I don't think it's really that necessary. Ooh, Iron Circlet, maybe this could be an upgrade too. Oh, we got boots with 3 greens. That's going to be massively an upgrade here. Because now I can have 2 3 links, and with this build, what I plan to do, and this has evasion. Okay, now I'm going to actually explain what evasion and all these different things do. I'm just going to put a point in here. So evasion makes it so you take 0 damage. If it works, you have a chance to evade. I'll go in my character sheet and click on the defenses tab. You can see my chance to evade over here. So yeah, if you evade, I have like 48% evasion. So that means 48% chance when the enemy attacks me, I just don't take anything. Now armor, what that does is it reduces your physical damage taken, unless you have some other different modifiers, by 1%. Ooh, there's a triple. Oh, nice, another red, green, blue. Pick up all the red, green, and blue linked ones. I don't really need that, actually. Because I already have another yellow bow that I can maybe use if I want to mess around with. Now, if it was a 4-link, I'd pick that one up for sure. I feel like they give extra currency, like this league, for sure. Alright, so if we see this over here, you'll see there's a bronze monograph. You want to go into the Trial of Ascendency. This is going to be used to upgrade our class to a super class later in the game. What we're waiting for is these spikes to go by. There's these few little like rest stops, but you can just rush it. No problem. We're going to go to this lever, and we are going to wait for the spikes to rotate one more time, and then we're going to run backwards, and this time we can use checkpoints. Or you can just run through and then just take all the spike damage and just pop a potion, and you'll be A-okay. This one, we can wait if we want to, but you can see how it works. Sometimes you get lucky and you just don't get hit by it. But now we're going to go towards the very beginning, and we are going to... This one, it activates in a checker pattern. You can use your dash ability and just go up, and we are going to click on the Trial of Ascendency plat. And once we see any of the yellows, we're going to activate that...
Belief is the strongest metal of them all.
Sniper's Mark. We don't really need a basic skill now. We can get Steelskin if we happen to have. The currency, which we could probably do after the cage brew. It's not really important right now, unless maybe we get another checkpoint. Okay. Like if we die or something. But we'll probably not die again unless we do that Crucible. But maybe within the next few hours that thing will be patched. Alright, so now we're going to the upper prison. And then we're going to keep on going. And if you're bleeding, you'll see on the top left there's a debuff. Bleed actually is pretty nasty, and especially earlier on if we don't have Steelskin, but we'll get that relatively soon. So you can see right now I'm just kind of throwing down my totems, my little shrapnel ballistas, but if there's a yellow, we'll stop and we'll eliminate him. And we will get this. Nice. And then we're going to now get some extra HP, so we'll be a little bit more tanky. But the ideal goal is to get that. If we see a strong box, we can activate these. What a strong box is, so it's going to be monsters that come out of it. And once you kill all the monsters, you'll get whatever the reward. Sometimes it'll say what the reward is. This, unfortunately, we can't use. We don't have the strength requirement. And if you need to get extra, like strength, intelligence, or dexterity for your character, those are all in the skill tree as well. You don't have to copy my tree exactly, but if you just need like 10 extra like strength or something, I'll show you guys where to get it. Because earlier on, there might be an item that you really want to use, and it just requires a little bit. But I would say follow this guide relatively close, though. Like, you can deviate maybe 1 or 2 skill points, but if you go too far off, your character may not work, and you're going to be like, dude, I messed up. I should have followed it. And there's no just respec for free. You can do quests that will give you respecs, and you can also get an item later in the game that will also give you respecs. And what we're looking for is the Warden's Quarters. So now we're over here. And if you ever want to see if there is a... oh, also you can click on this little menu here and it'll tell you all of the hotkeys. I don't know what the default one is. So mine is U for the menu over here. But if I want to see if there is a checkpoint, I can just mouse over the area that I'm at and see if there's a little like blue circle that, or it's it'll be a black circle first, but it'll be a blue circle if you can get it. Oh, okay, we'll come up to Brutus. This guy's pretty tough, so if you die on him, don't worry. We probably won't die on him. Like I said, literally the Crucible Mechanics is crazy. I mean, look at this. This is like an elite, and we just melt it like so fast. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and what does this one do? Essence of Contempt. So if I put this on a quiver, we get 1 to 2 physical damage. I'm going to upgrade my quiver first, and the reason why is because, look, we just got 2 extra small stats. It's not bad to use essences earlier on in the game, especially since they're a lower tier. You can get way better essences. Don't think like, oh, I can upgrade an item, I'm going to save this. No. A lot of times in PoE, it's great to use your items earlier on. Unless it's like a Chaos Orb, I wouldn't recommend using Chaos Orbs or Alchemy Orbs in the very beginning. We'll talk more about what the heck these are, but just like the essences, just spam them. Like they're like really not that rare. So this guy is kind of strong. He can pull you in. He has these spikes that come out. Always shoot and move. Be on the movement with this guy because he is pretty difficult for a lot of players earlier on. So if we see anything good, I'll just pick up the yellows. I know I made it look easy. I'm just more disappointed again that they didn't really... I want to say that it wasn't really fully tested. That level 1 Crucible area, that's supposed to be like one of like the stronger bosses earlier on in Act 1. And we melted him faster than literally a white monster that spawned out of the Crucible. Like, it's crazy how overtuned that is. So now that we've done the Caged Brute, we're going to go back into town and we're going to get some stuff here. We're going to get lots and lots of stuff. Now I'm going to move this Ice Shot into my boots because I have these 3 green links over here. So now we are going to select another gem for our reward. So we have, this is actually, I think, a new one. So what does this actually do? So it says supports bow attack skills, causing them to trigger when you spent enough mana in total on other bow attacks, cannot modify the skills. Okay, so this could be very interesting. So now we could do hybrid. I actually want to do hybrid anyways. So what I can do with this, and we will mess around with this, I definitely want added cold damage, but I want to also try this out. So I'm going to pick this gem, but I recommend getting added cold damage. I'm going to also get that added cold damage support. And now we're going to get added cold damage, and we're going to put this. So we have Ice Shot, Mirage Archer, added cold damage. Now, with our other setup here, if I could move Sniper's Mark, I totally would, but I can't really move right now. Now with this, I'm going to put Mana Forged Arrows, because this is brand new. And then I'm going to go to another, like, bow attack skill. So I'm going to just type in the word bow, and it'll tell me what we can do. So we do Split Arrow, Burning Arrow, Caustic Arrow, Galvanic Arrow. So this one can do some lightning damage on it. I'm going to try this one out. I actually really like lightning in the very beginning. But this will be interesting. So I got to make sure that it does work with the other skill. I'm assuming it does. To make sure it works, it says Galvanic Arrow. See, it has checked in. I'm going to equip it over here. And let's go ahead and sell all of these items. We'll get some more Transmute Shards at the moment. I don't really need that one. But I'm going to get, because it's red, green, blue, it works out. I'm not going to run Burning Arrow right now. I'm going to try these Mana Forge Arrows. Could be very interesting to try out. Now, I still don't have any rings. Ideally, we're looking for these Sapphire rings. And you actually kind of want to get white ones. So I could get this white one. It's 3 Scrolls of Wisdom, which is... I mean, I could get it. I actually want to get more damage as well. But if you see the amulet, it's not here at the moment. But as you level up, these will change. Now we get a bunch of different gems. And what I want to actually get is a few different ones. So I need 22 int for this one. This one will be really nice earlier on. I'm going to get a few different gems. So I wrote these down. So we're going to get Precision, Clarity, and Vitality. That's what we want to get. So Vitality is a red gem. Precision is a green gem. I don't have the room for it right now, and I'll show you guys what you can do with it. And I want Clarity. I want all 3 of these. Even though I can't use Clarity now, I'll be able to use it relatively soon. We're going to be getting, like, you could get this life right now, or if you happen to have the gear that lets you run Clarity, I like to get Clarity earlier on, so I don't have to manage myself with these potions, and just makes things a lot smoother. We can get Precision, I guess, as a reward also for a quest. So if you want to save one, you can get one. But you can also get Blink Arrow. That's not bad to have, as you can go over certain like terrain with it. If I had room, I would put it in. Now, I do have room for Precision if I put it in my other weapon. So you can see there's 2 different weapon slots. Like if you play Diablo 2, same thing. You can level up gems, but it doesn't have the item equipped. So now I'm going to throw in this Vitality, and now I'm going to show you guys a mechanic called Mana Reservation. So what this does is, I don't even have to have it on this bar. I can hold control and get a whole nother skill bar. But I'm going to hit T, and it's going to reserve mana. So on default, I have mine actually changed. These are like Mana Reservation. I think this is like a... Okay. So this makes a little bit more sense. So, oh, I didn't hit accept. Mana Reservation. Okay, there we go. I'm going to hit save. So you can see my mana, there's like a little like gray thing. That means the mana is reserved. What that means is that I cannot use that mana. Oh, that's actually... Oh my gosh, this thing is so amazing. Oh, I'm so excited about this. This Mana Forged Arrows, this is a new skill. This league is... It's so cool because bow is like genuinely one of my favorite things to play. And now... okay, so this is also one thing I want to mention. You do not want to upgrade Vitality. Just level 1 Vitality is all you want. So, you know how before I was saying there might be some times where you don't want to level up skills? And the reason why you don't want to level up Vitality is it's going to reserve more mana. But in return, it gives you more life regen. That's what Vitality does. It just gives you 10 life per second, which is actually really big earlier on. It's fantastic. But I'm really digging these Mana Forged Arrows because it's just another free skill, and our clear speed is just so good. But the thing is, that Crucible thing is... We'll try it next act. Like I said, Act 1 was just painful. Now I'm going to go get this extra intelligence because I want to fly. So if you happen to have the intelligence required, then you can skip out on this. Oh, this freeze dust when we activated it. Some of these will kind of mess you up. Like as soon as you activate it, it will freeze you, or it's going to make the corpses explode. Oh, nice. We got a mana regen amulet. Cool. As I want as much mana regen as possible. So with the mana forged arrows, what that does is it makes it so once you use a certain amount of mana, it's just going to give you basically another. Man, I'm gonna do some crazy stuff this league now. Because I didn't know how that thing worked, and obviously it's brand new, so no one knew how it worked. We're going to run 2 6-links with a pseudo 6, well, it's a pseudo 5-link setup, but technically it gives you more damage than a 6-link. This is going to be insane. We're going to do so much this league. I already know exactly what we're going to do. So what we're going to do with this Mana Forge, I guess Mana Forge technically is another free 5-link, but you can apply some sort of debuff like a shock, which will increase the damage they take by lots of other things, or we can apply Scorch. Oh, we can do so much, man. It's going to be amazing. This is going to be a fantastic league for Bo. Phenomenal. I'm so excited because I wasn't sure exactly how it was going to work. Now, you're going to have to still pay the mana cost with that. So we want to activate our Sniper's Mark. Don't forget to do that. Essence of Hatred, nice. This is the one we want because it gives us cold damage. There's other essences. Some will give you like lightning damage, you know, fire damage. Essences are great for crafting. Oh, let's see if this one's going to be better than what we currently have. I mean, 28 life is not bad. Considering we have like 199 life. So, oh, by the way, you can only have one thing marked with Sniper's Mark. You can't mark like a bunch of different things. Are we using our chest piece or not? Really? I can see if this is better. So what we're going to do is we are going to identify this. And this requires extra int, but it's giving us some armor and energy shield. I'm going to keep this right now. Because this also gives us cold res. And I want to try to get as much cold resistance as possible before the final boss of this act. So this game is separated into 10 different acts. We're going to separate each one of our little play sessions with an act. But with the Mana Forged arrows, what it does... Ooh, I might actually want this. I might actually do the Crucible mechanic again, but maybe next. Because now we're going to have an extra 3 linked over here. And then once we get Lightning Arrow, the build will be way faster too. So now I'm going to grant ourselves Primal Spirit. This is going to grant us extra Strength and Int, which will now let us use our Clarity. Now you see, I don't have an area to put in Clarity. You know, I said this armor was better. Well, heck, this armor is now better because I can throw in Clarity. Now that's going to reduce our mana again. Now if I want to go ahead and put this one in here, I can click here. And I don't even have to, like, I can put this on my second skill bar. Again, Control will allow you to access another skill bar. I can swap, it's still activated. As long as I activate it and it's reserving that mana. Clarity we can level up once. It's 2.9 mana per second. I can level up one more time. But we have to make sure that we can pay the mana cost with our Mana Forged arrows. We don't need to go to Fairgraves right now, but he's usually close to the waypoint. But we want to know where Fairgraves is at because that's where we turn in a quest, and I believe we just got the waypoint. But if you are ever unsure, like I just was right here, I'm like, I don't know if I got the waypoint. Just go back and get it, because if you don't get the waypoint, sometimes it sucks. You can get to walk all the way back. What's new with this league? Okay, so to answer your question, there is a Crucible mechanic. We actually have a bow, and it grants us 5 to 10 extra cold damage. And that's actually pretty nice to have earlier on. However, the scaling on this is just absolutely ridiculous. They really need to nerf like the Act 1 difficulty of the Crucible mechanic. It's like almost impossible to do, especially for a new player. A new player going to that would die like 10 different times, and they'd be like, wow, maybe I'm really bad. But like I said, I played this game for like 2,000 plus hours, and it's crazy how sometimes they still, in the very beginning of the league mechanic, it's like, if anyone was to play that, right? Anyone was to play that, it was like impossible not to die. Unless you went like super far back and you knew that they were going to basically one-shot, which, like, there was just so many enemies. 3 to 5 fire damage. Ooh, this could be good as well. We can maybe throw an essence on that. There's an essence right here. We have another essence, in fact. So what we want to scale is elemental damage, but physical damage can be converted as well. This has just some fire res. Let's go ahead and throw this one on. So we have an extra mana per kill. Increase 5% is pretty low. Increase crit strike chance. Cold res. That's triple. I'm just gonna sell it to the vendor. It's really not that big of a deal. But we're coming up to another essence here. Good. Nice. Ideally, we can get a 4-link relatively soon as well to the next act. We'll talk more about trading items in the next part. And it's optional if you want to trade items with players. It's just really nice to go ahead and do that. So remember, Vitality we want to right-click on when we would normally level it up. The reason why we want to right-click on it is because we don't want to level it up. And I mean, you can leave that little thing there if you just don't click on it, but I just like to have the visual clutter out of the way. So what we're looking for, once we get to the ship graveyard, we're going to go to the ship graveyard cave, and we're going to go free this girl's soul over here. So we're looking for a little girl. Well, she's dead, but let's see if we can just throw these down and just keep moving. So sometimes, yeah, I think these can kill most of the stuff. Let's throw our little ballistas and just keep walking, as those will also give us XP on kill. Like once we have the enemies die from our ballistas. We don't have to stop. This way we can speed through the game a little bit more. Okay, here we go, and we'll do the same logout mechanic once we find the girl. And sometimes it's like not bad to stop and kill a big pack of enemies because you refill your Quicksilver Flask, therefore you're running and doing stuff faster. We have another skill point over here, so I'm not going to continue down this way. I'm going to go and grab the life over here because we don't want to have 0 HP. Is that fire? Okay. We'll pick up this extra fire quiver. Oh, if we had room. I was going to sell this one, but we can throw it on the essence and see if it becomes much better. Oh, that's good. Ooh, okay. There we go. It's better. Now I can pick up this other one and just sell it if I want to the vendor. I'm going to keep this armor because I like this armor more than this one, but I need another blue gem. So if I see another like armor that has a blue hole in it and it's got like pretty good stats, then we'll use this. This enemy can apply chill to you, so kind of go a little bit further away if you can. Pick up all their these boots. Oh, wood splitter. It's fine. I'd rather get this item. I think I need. Oh, this is another red, green, blue. So we're looking for the slave girl, and then what we're gonna do is we can exit here. There's always an exit right next to her, and we got to go back to Fargraves. But I could walk all the way back. But you know what's faster? Going back to the character screen. This is why I show you guys how to do these strategies. Even though we're not speedrunning the game, we can also talk to Nessa, and we can check out if she has other items. As when you start completing quests, level up, you're going to get extra items here. Now, feel free to go check out certain items. If you're like, dude, that skill sounds so cool, I want to try it. Hey, try it out. You know, do what you want to do. Is always my suggestion. But we're going to be getting Lightning Arrow pretty soon. Right now we're still stuck with Galvanic. We've got to complete the act. But going back to town, we're going to be selling our stuff. So let's go sell our stuff. I actually want to keep that. I can throw it in my stash if I want to. You'll have a stash tab as well. It may look a little different, just because, like, again, I bought some like extra storage space. But again, it doesn't give you any pay to win. It's just more extra storage. So now we go back to the ship graveyard, and like I said, Fairgraves is usually pretty close to the waypoint. So if you didn't find him, just do kind of a little bit of a circle and you'll find him. So make sure you have the all flame. That's what we get from the girl. And we're going to put up a bunch of turrets for Fargraves, because he's going to try to kill us. And look, we could just chill back. Look at this. Easy. Easy. Look at this. It just, he melted so fast.
You were a good man in a bad situation.
I mean, if that doesn't show you, like, the act boss, let's see how fast we melt the act boss. I'm not even kidding. I think the act boss will be easier than a random white monster spawned in by the Crucible Mechanic, which is crazy. It's an act boss. It's Arch Nemesis all over again, man. If you guys didn't know, there was a league called Arch Nemesis, and basically they ended up adding these monsters to the game, and man, the forums were on fire day one with people complaining that they were way too difficult. But rightfully so, they were, and they nerfed it like 5 different times, and eventually they just kind of removed them in the game. They've significantly nerfed it. So now we're going to the Cavern of Wrath. We want to go ahead and go over here. Now we can actually go back to town. Did I pick up anything? We can go back to town after completing that Fargrave's quest and get a reward, and there might be some more items to actually purchase here. So we get Toxic Rain, Lightning Strike. Lightning Strike is actually a pretty good item again. What is this? Okay. Lightning Arrow is actually what we want, so we're going to get Lightning Arrow. I'm not sure what we... Okay, let's just leave the part. Unless you wanted to show me something. Did you want to show me something? I think he's just trying to show me something. Is that something? Oh, you got Ball Lightning Arrow? Okay, this will be good for showcasing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This is actually part of the build, and I'll show you guys what this actually does. So, Ball Lightning Arrow and Lightning Arrow are the exact same in terms of what they actually do. Now we'll go back to the Caverns. And I want to do Lightning Arrow over Ice Shot because I think it's way better earlier on. But we will do Ice Shot as well. And instead of doing Galvanic Arrow, in our Mana Forge arrows, we're going to now do Ice Shot. The reason why I want Ice Shot is because I want to apply the chill to the enemy, and I'm also going to start scaling elemental damage versus... with the Lightning Arrow, I can already shock and get damage anyways, and it's going to give us a massive shock. But, so Lightning Arrow is... I'll show you what it does. So it shoots, and it does an AoE around the target. And it's so good. Look, I mean, we're basically one-shotting things right now, and it feels super, super, super satisfying. Now, what I'm going to do is now I'm going to equip Ball Lightning Arrow. Now, how do we get this? My friend just hooked me up with it. I'm just going to use it to show you guys. Is it going to give us a huge advantage in the game? Well, for bosses, for sure. But we actually have 2 lightning arrows now. One's a regular one, and one's the Ball Lightning Arrow. The Ball Lightning Arrow I can't just hit it and use it. How it works is it's going to actually require us to build up. It's basically like an ultimate, and I'll show you guys what it does. It's going to be amazing. It's not even like super rare in terms of like its price point. It's probably like 1 Chaos Orb, which is really going to be nothing. I'll double check on the price for you guys. And what I mean by price is not real money items. What I mean by price is in-game, you know, how hard is it to get, in a sense. And I'll show you guys that in a moment. So here's Ball Lightning Arrow. I'm going to activate it, and you can see it just shoots out a bunch of lightning arrows. And that helps out, for sure. And it's going to be definitely part of our build. Let's check out if these boots have movement speed. Oh, it has 10%. But I kind of need these boots because they are part of our skill. So therefore, it's not going to be as advantageous. Now, can I move this vitality over? No, I can. Can I move the dash over? No, I don't have room. So even though this gives us 2 different added life damage, I can't use it. Certain times will call for certain things. So clarity you can level up to like 2 or 3 if you want. It's kind of up to you. I think 2 or 3 will be totally fine. I just don't like having to activate my mana potions. I'm just kind of lazy. If I had an extra gem socket, I would throw in a blink arrow that allows me to go up and down certain terrain like this. I can just dash up, or I can dash down it, or I can use blink arrow. That's why I like having that. So at our extra skill point, we're just going to put it into Heart of Oak. This is going to give us more HP. But if you did have the stats, feel free not to get the extra intelligence. I just want to have clarity because earlier on, it's nice to have. It's another 3 link, but unfortunately, it's not the colors we want. We want triple green right now. Later, we will want 1 blue. And the reason why we want blue is for added lightning damage, because I personally think that Lightning Arrow is the best skill in the game to level up with. That's a bow attack, because at one point, Absolution was... no question the best skill in the game. I don't even feel like that was up for debate. That thing was insane before it got nerfed. It's still pretty good, though, honestly. But let's just continue. Once we're in the Cavern of Wrath, we're just going to go kind of up. What are we at? About an hour? Okay. This is about average for Act 1, especially if we like mess with the lead mechanic. We also died like 1,000 times to try to do the Crucible. Again, if you're watching this like a day or maybe a few hours after the league has launched, because by the time this YouTube video is out, and I've uploaded it, yeah, it might be a couple hours, and they're going to be like, guys, we've adjusted the difficulty. It was too strong. Like, anyone that played it just one time can tell you. It's like 10 times harder than it should be. The monsters have way too much HP. They do way too much damage for, like, a level, like, anything under level 5. Like, it's not even a skill issue at that point. So, we're looking for the exit over here. So, yeah, well, we get 2 charges of the Ball Lightning Arrow, too. Okay. So So I'll pop on the boss, and you can see how good it is. Actually, no. Okay, we can pop it over here. It's so cool looking to see all these little lightning arrows come out. But for the sake of it being fair, at least, because the chances of you guys getting a Vol lightning arrow this early on, you'll see these Vol side areas. I don't want this playthrough to make it look like, oh, dude, my homie just from the stream just hooked me up with that. And by the way, thanks. So I can share with the stream what it looks like. I won't use this on the boss. We won't use the Vol lightning arrow on the boss because I feel like that would be unfair. And I want you guys to feel like this playthrough is like something that you can achieve as well. Look at this boss. Yeah, the Act boss is easier to fight than a white Crucible monster. Like, that was like incredibly untested, but it's okay. Sometimes that's just how PoE is. The first few days, you get to say that you beat the Crucible Mechanic day one.
I'm not up to that just yet.
I don't. Okay. Also, this boss hits pretty hard. I know I make it look really easy, but the boss hits pretty hard for cold damage. So if you get anything with cold resistance, that's what I was like talking about. Pick up that. Maybe we can use this. Read chat. It's because if you fully juice. Oh, okay. So, okay. So apparently we juiced it up too hard. As in, we made it too difficult. Now, I'll go halfway. But I feel like if you only go halfway, you don't even get the first node. They should make it so the first node is totally fine. Okay, so the other bow that we have over here could be an extra upgrade, right? This is okay. Yeah, if we got the extra damage here, it would be an upgrade. But this is, yeah, it's 3, and it has the exact colors I want, which is going to be 1 blue. So what we're going to do now is we are going to select the other item that is on our offhand, and it lets us choose. Okay, so we're going to select it, and this time I'll listen and I'll go halfway. So you hold it down. We'll only go halfway. Okay. It's about, oh, it's a little bit more than halfway. Okay, I didn't go all the way up. Let's see how, and I'll actually even activate the Vol lightning arrow. Okay. Is it specifically if you go to the first tier, it makes it like incredibly difficult? But that was it. Okay. I think it's totally normal for any player to want to go to at least the first tier, though. You gotta admit, if anyone wants to get the reward, like, because right now I get nothing. Like, there's no reward because I didn't get the, I didn't go to the first node. And I think it's very logical for anyone that's playing here to be like, okay, I want to get the very first node. Right? I don't think that's out of the question. Oh, you died for 7 minutes the first time? Okay, I also died like that. So, hey, it's not just me. I'm feeling like a lot of people will feel that way. I think what they should do is the first node shouldn't be that difficult. But was it worth it to get the extra damage? I mean, honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was like, what, 2-3 minutes of extra time? I mean, it also depends on what's on the skill tree, too. Like that, every item is going to have a different outcome, too, which is going to be awesome. But you know what's going to be more awesome? Is when we get to like level 20 and we get what's called Roth's for each. And the Crucible mechanic is just not even going to be usable till the very end. Okay, so anyways, now we are in Act 2. I also leveled up. I'm just going to put a point in here, and then we're going to go and grab this. We're going to get extra movement speed, and then we're going to actually grab massive damage bonus. There's also extra shock chance over here, which we can grab, which will be advantageous as well. But I got to make sure my accuracy is high enough. Do I have an extra green socket for my precision to throw in? I do not, but I'm still leveling up. Level up your precision as well. It's going to be very important for the build. So there's a bunch of NPCs. We can talk to the NPCs in town. You also have Yina, which you can buy items from. So check out Yina. Maybe they have items that you want. Also, you go to Groost, and you can check out his items. There's another bow here. It's a 3-link, but we want to try to get a 4-link, and I don't have any currency at the moment. We'll check some items to maybe purchase to actually get an upgrade, but this is going to wrap it up for part 1, Act 1 of our Path of Exile Crucible Beginner's Guide. So, if you guys enjoyed it, drop a like on it, and if you're new here and do want to follow up with part 2, part 3s, all that stuff, it will be uploaded very soon, but subscribe and you will see it, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Also, any questions, let me know down below. Check the pinned comment, because there's a lot of more information that I'm going to just provide for you guys now, in case someone does want it, like if you guys want to add the loot filter, add the sounds, because I have some like funny sounds that can pop up if a certain item drops. That way I can know it drops, because sometimes I'm reading my Twitch chat, or you can visit me on Twitch and you can just ask the question live and I'll be sure to answer. But anyway, take care, and I'll see you guys in part 2 very soon. Take care. Peace out.